Hey beautiful people, it's your girl Ashalei, here to help transform your life. Today, we are going to be talking about habits. Little housekeeping, make sure you like, share with somebody who you think can be inspired, because you know your girl's gonna bring you some information. And make sure you subscribe so we can keep up, so I can be a part of your journey to your own transformation, because that's what I'm here to do. Now, let's go back to our regularly scheduled program. We're gonna talk about habits. You ready? I've been talking so much about habits, it's ridiculous. The key to transforming your own life literally lies within your habits. It's in your daily habits. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? This is why it's so important for me today to actually talk to you today that we're going to talk about habits. Now, old habits die hard, okay? We know this. It's so hard to change your habits. Let's take a deep breath for a second. What are habits? Habits is just another way of saying behaviors. It's things that we've practiced over a long period of time that become natural to us. And it doesn't take that long to create a habit. I've said numerous of times, 21 days to create a habit, 90 days to create a lifestyle. Roughly every 3 months you're going through a change, and every 21 days you're creating a habit. Now, with that being said, whether you recognize it or not, every 21 days you are creating a habit. Anytime that you learn something new, you implement it every day for 21 days, you have now picked up a new habit. This could either be good or bad. Hear me when I say, this could be either good or bad. The reason being is because habits are our behaviors. It's our natural way of reacting to certain things that we do on a day-to-day basis that become autopilot. It becomes our autopilot, okay? Habits that we have are literally hardwired into our brains. Picking up a new habit is learning, okay? That's it. Now, you either learn to be this way, or you learn to think that way, or you learn to operate this way, or you learn to act this way, or you learn to respond this way, approach, be strong, whatever it is, right? Habits are hardwired into our brain. They're literally hardwired into our brain. I will say this again. Habits are hardwired into our brain. The reason being is because our strongest habit that we have literally have created neural pathways. Once again, I'm gonna say it again. Neural pathways. That's the connection in our brains. Connect together. They create new pathways. I bet you didn't even know that. But guess what? Now you know. When you learn something new, you implement it every day over 21 days, you have now created little pathways in your brain called neural pathways. That's what they're called. Ever been on autopilot? You've been driving, you usually go this way to work, and the day that you're off, you're on your way to your mama's house, which can take the same route, and you find yourself mid-drive going to your job, and it's your day off. Autopilot. Habit. You've been doing it for so long. It just comes natural to you to go to your job when you're trying to go to your mama's house. This is just an example. Habits are everything. Habits are the number one determiner of the quality of your own life. Don't believe me? Let me just give you an example. We do this every day. We judge people every day based on what their habits are. I'm gonna tell you why. Oh, they smile all the time, they must be so happy. Or you work out so much, you must be so strong. Or it can go in the opposite direction, more on the negative side. But we're only gonna focus on the positive for right now. By changing our habits, we can literally change our life. And this is the point I wanna bring you to. If you take a moment, become self-aware, tuning in and tapping into who you really are, then you could figure out what habits are keeping you stuck and what habits are actually promoting growth. Habits can be mental and physical. Mental habits are just as important, and it's something that we really need to pay attention to. Let me give you an example of a mental habit. I worked on the phone so much doing customer service, okay? And it got to a point where every time that the phone would ring, in my head, I thought I was in trouble. Because every time that I would pick up the phone, I was literally there to pick up the pieces, to fix whatever problem that was. And most of the time, whoever was on the opposite end of the phone was making me feel like I was in trouble. I'm gonna talk to your manager. Da, 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 da. And these are, mind you, things that literally I have no control over. But my point is, enough of hearing that and enough of experiencing literally something that is traumatic. And if you followed my Instagram, you know that trauma is different for everybody, and everybody's level of trauma is different. Trauma is something that you have survived. But going through that traumatic experience that was traumatic for me, I've developed a habit of keeping my phone on silent. Matter of fact, I'll go even further. I literally would keep my phone on Do Not Disturb 24 hours a day. I did not want to be reached by anybody because the idea of my phone ringing, even if it vibrated, it made me feel like I was obligated to answer the phone, when really sometimes I just needed to take a moment and take care of myself for a second. So it's important that we check our mental habits. What are the things that we continue to keep thinking about? What are the things that we keep harping about? What are the type of negative patterns of thinking that we keep entertaining that actually really keep us staying still? It keeps you in that same frequency, that same vibrational state, that same mental state, that same emotional state of feeling, ugh, and you don't want to feel that way. You want to feel happy. Well, you want to feel happy, you need to get in the habit of doing things that make you happy. You need to get in the habit of thinking about things that make you happy. You need to get in the habit of letting things go when they no longer make you happy. You want to lose weight, you got to get in the habit of eating right and working out. That's just an example. Deep breath. We talked about a lot. It takes 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to stop a habit. Some may say it may take 60 days, 28 days, 66 days, whatever. Let's just put in perspective for a moment that if it takes you 21 days to create a habit, then it can take 21 days to dissolve one. The reason being is because while you're creating a new habit, let's say of positive thinking, then you're really getting rid of and replacing that old habit of what? Negative thinking. In reality, picking up a new habit is dissolving an old habit. That's it. Creating new habits, getting rid of old habits can be challenging. But for those who, now that I've already covered what challenges is, and for people who follow me on Instagram, we already know that challenge means to test one's abilities. It's really a neutral word. A lot of times we think of challenges as a negative thing, like, oh my God, I don't even want to have to do this because I know it's going to challenge me. But it's really to test your abilities, to see if you about it, because you said you were going to be X, Y, and Z. Now a situation, a circumstance, an event caused you to be this person that you said you were, and now you're like running for the hills. What? Challenges is to test one's abilities. It's to see if you about it. Life has a funny way of testing us when it comes to that, but nevertheless, don't look at it like, oh my God, I don't think I can get through this, because no. You already put in your mind that you are that person. You already put in your mind that you're more than capable of going through this. And you already put in your mind that you're an overcomer.